Vanguardian 650. Good evening. Dame Dash does the unthinkable with this lawsuit with Cam, against Cam, I might add. $300 million lawsuit. Now, I don't have all the paperwork. I saw it on someone else's site. There was some, what he listed. A lot of this stuff is old. You're going back the old days of Rockefeller, almost 20 years or so. It's nasty work. It just goes to show you. I mean, was these guys ever mans? They couldn't be mans doing this type of stuff, man. The little bit first it was a little, it was cute, a little back and forth, jokey joke, you know what I mean? They did little digs here and there, and then you start bringing, adding family members into the fray, trying to pay family members to reveal secrets, and Dame mentioning Cam's mom, who's, rest in peace to her. She's transitioned on. You mentioned her name. I get it, but I don't get it because, you guys are from Harlem. And according to you, Dame, that's not Harlem to do the things that you've been doing. Cam, I get what you're saying about Dame. He it's hard to say no. You can tell him you're gonna do this, you don't do that. Dame's gonna do what he want to do. I know Dame's trying to sun you. We all know that. And you being Cam, you have a certain reputation you have to hold up, and you have to, you got to defend yourself. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? A man has the right to defend himself on slurs or slander, unproven claims, accusations or whatever. You have the right to defend yourself. But it's hard to be tasteful in these type of things because of the parties involved. They know each other so well. They all know where the bodies are hidden. I'm just saying that metaphorically. But when it comes to people like this, man, that's on the block or been on the block or been around each other neighborhoods, they might hang with a different crew one day. It's everybody don't really get along. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But you just deal with it. You coexist. Don't mean you best buddies. You might be buddies today. Tomorrow you might be, I was with this joker, man. He talking all that. It's the same. It's just banter. But now it's gotten ugly. It's gotten ugly. Dang, you said you would never use lawsuits. You can never, I'm paraphrasing. You can never do that. You can never use a lawsuit. You can never go to the court to settle kind of differences that could be hashed out amongst men. But what is this, my brother? What is this? I didn't expect this one. First, I thought it was just all rumors. It could be. I don't know. Allegedly, there's a $300 lawsuit against Cameron. So, and like I said, they've been going back and forth for a minute. 1 minute, love, not really love, hate, love. People love hard one day. They love differently the next day. They love this about you this day. They love that about you next week. So, and then when you're on this internet, it gets a little spicy. People start embellishing stories and, encounters, what have you. And it's intriguing to the outsiders, the fans, because they want any type of info, intel, and information you're willing to share. And so now we start doing things, or I should say, they start doing things that's motivated by views and content. Dame is on the Good Brother Art of Dialogue show, giving his testimony, his point of view of events, sharing stories or allegedly with Cam involved, with Big L, allegedly in a car, allegedly that was, had some work in it, if you know what I mean. Don't need to go further. And that was rebuked by Cam. Rest in peace to Big L. He's no longer here. And apparently Cam mentioned that Dame and Cam wasn't on the best. They didn't have the greatest relationship. So Cam refutes it. They said they never done car together. So who knows? Only they know. Somewhere the truth lies in the middle if you really digging that deep for it. But these guys are almost 50. I mean, they in their 50s, almost 50 years old. Cam's getting up there. He's about to approach 40. Dame, he's in his, I believe, 50. So content is the new drug, and it can be overwhelming if you allow it to fester, and once it erupts, it could be misguided anger. People catch strays. We just saw this happening with Young Thug. So this is what we do. We tune in. Yeah, the public tune in. We like it. It's content. We get to use it, talk about it, break it down, dissect it. It's sad though, in a sense that, this was a American dream story, success story. Rockefeller, Dipset, state property, the accumulation and the collaborative effort of all these talented artists and, self-made individuals coming together to doing tours, making millions of dollars. We know who the big homie was, Jay-Z. We know all the parties, the actors that are involved, and it's just sad, the fallout and from everything. Jim Jones, the Cameron situation. Even though Mace was never in Dipset, but Mace is Harlem. So he's entwining with the stories. It's just wild, man. It's just wild because, like I said, it becomes messy. It does. It really does. It becomes messy. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to know all this. It's sad. But we do it for content. Is it for content? How far will we go for content? How far will we go from tearing each other's character, throwing each other under the bus, and just literally tear each other down on a public medium and forum and platform every other day? There's bigger issues out there, as we know. We just seen with this assassination, and we're out here just for whatever motivation, content reasons, whatever, that everyone says Dame is broke, wealth is not only determined by, of course, financial flexibility, but wealth is also not just a monetary thing. Wealth can be within you. Is your soul healthy? Is your mental healthy? Healthy makes wealthy, and all that ties in. You dig? So I hate to see these brothers go through it. I'm sure down the line, like I said, they're in their twilight or just past their twilight years. You know what I'm saying? They're in their 50s, and at some point you just got to say, look, man, we had a hell of a run. We had a hell of a head start. We squandered some cash. We lost some cake. We squandered some opportunities. But you're still here. You still can make it happen if you really want to make it happen. You know what I mean? But we're acting a little desperate right now. I can see Dame, he's out here making claims. His Breakfast Club interview this past week was wild. And but he has a lot to say. I respect Dame for what he's done to, with the game and how he stood by his artists. You know what I mean? But I can't co-sign the foulness at hand right now. I mean, it's crazy. But, you know what I mean? It's not my business. I'm just saying I can't co-sign it. But, do you. Do you. I wouldn't say viral moments, but it keeps people active. It keeps people in the know. They say any news is better than no news. So I guess that comes into play with content and everything else. This is where we at. This has always been where we at. There's no business like show business. Anyway, Vanguardian 650. I'm sorry, my voice. I'm fatigued, man. It's been a long week. Peace.